Breaking update coming in, and former Mumbai Police Chief Param Bir Singh has in fact landed in Mumbai. Remember, Param Bir Singh has been somebody who the authorities had in fact been looking for. There are at least 4 to 5 extortion cases which are there against him in Maharashtra. But more importantly, he was wanted by agencies which are probing the allegations he had made against former Maharashtra Minister Anil Deshmukh. Remember, he has recently, his lawyers have told the courts in Supreme Court recently that he is willing to, he is in fact readily available to cooperate with the probe agency, CBI specifically, which is looking into the Anil Deshmukh corruption charges, and said that if needed, he can appear in front of the agency within 48 hours. There had also been a lot of conjecture about whether or not Param Bir Singh had actually left the country or not. In fact, there was a lookout circular which had been issued against him by the Maharashtra government. But now what we can in fact see is that Param Bir Singh had already said that he is going to be, available for the investigative agencies which are looking into the corruption and laundering charges against Anil Deshmukh, because he is the chief complainant in that case. And at the moment, what we can bring for you is that former Mumbai Police Chief Param Bir Singh has landed in the city, and he is most likely going to be joining the probe that is needed, as his lawyers had in fact promised to the court. Let me go across to my colleague Shivani. Shivani, do we have any word from his legal? Okay, let me go across to my colleague Gauri first. Gauri, we have in fact seen that there had been a lot of conjecture about where is Param Bir Singh. His lawyers, of course, saying he's not left the country. He's very much in the country and will be available for the investigative agencies who are looking. After a long time, Param Bir Singh has in fact surfaced once again in front of the public and landed in Mumbai.
Should I answer or not?
Okay, we'll go back to Gauri in a bit. Let me first go to my colleague Radhika, who's joining us over the phone line. Radhika, any word yet as to, the fact that Param Bir Singh has in fact surfaced after a long time? Any word yet from his legal team or as to what his first steps will be back in Mumbai?
Well, Param Bir Singh has finally arrived in Mumbai. As far as what his plan is concerned, we know for a fact that yesterday he confirmed that he will be joining the investigation. He will be in front of the investigation agencies very soon. He'll cooperate with the investigation, something he has told us. And as far as which agency he will be going to, whether he will be going in front of court or whether he will be going in front of one of the investigation agencies or the Mumbai police, that remains to be seen. Most likely, yes, he will be taking the advice of his legal team to understand, how he should go about it. Because remember, against him before the Mumbai police, there is an inquiry based on his complaint in front of the committee as well, Kandivali committee, and of course several non-bailable warrants and summons also had been issued to him from various courts and agencies. So it remains to be seen whether he will be approaching the court first or one of the agencies.
Right. In fact, there's been a lot of conjecture. In fact, Radhika, just for the benefit of our viewers, if you could just take us through what exactly has been the sequence of events when it comes to Param Bir Singh. He was in fact a high-profile Mumbai police chief. He has now, but he had in fact not been found or not been seen in the public domain for quite some time. A lookout circular had been issued against him because he's accused in at least 4 to 5 extortion cases in Maharashtra. Also, the inquiry commission which was looking into the allegations he leveled against Anil Deshmukh, the former Maharashtra Home Minister, that had been waiting to talk to him once again basis his original complaint. He had not appeared in front of them despite multiple summons. Just take us through, take our viewers through the trajectory or the timeline that we have in fact seen of Param Bir Singh's, so-called disappearance, quote-unquote, from public domain, and now him being back in Mumbai.
That's right. So, as far as Param Bir Singh is concerned, yes, he was a high-profile officer. He was the commissioner of the Mumbai police, and we know for a fact that Sachin Vazee was arrested as a result of the explosives found out and that was another high-profile case. And based on what was found at that time, the suspicion, and the questionable conduct of the officials at that time, Param Bir Singh was shunted out. And once Param Bir Singh was shunted out, he sent this vacating letter to Chief Minister and Anil Deshmukh was behind extortion and that he had forced.
Right, Radhika, they're giving us an understanding of Param Bir Singh, the trajectory, the timeline that we have seen in terms of his disappearance, quote-unquote, from the public domain. But now he has, in fact, landed back in Mumbai. And as we said, his lawyers had assured full cooperation with the investigative agencies looking into the Anil Deshmukh allegations. More breaking update coming in with regard to the Shakti Mills gang rape